Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm here to give you guys my review of Lucha Underground Season 1, Episode 38. And this episode is called Ultima Lucha Part 1. And this episode was taped on April 18th, 2015, and it aired on July 29th, 2015. And we had Matt Stryker and Vampiro on commentary for this show. And I gotta say, what a way to start off Ultima Lucha. I kind of like that this took place um, within the span of a couple of episodes, just because you had built it as such a big event. It really couldn't take up one episode. Um, Now I do kind of question probably why they didn't just make it 3 hours, but they probably would have been a little bit too long for a wrestling show, especially with Ultima Lucha. So I actually like the fact that they had this show first, because this kind of set the tone for I think what's to come for part 2 of Ultima Lucha. I'm going to review the show first, though, and then I'll kind of talk about what everybody else kind of thought of the show. So let's talk about this show. The show opened with Dario Cueto in the cell with his brother Mantasna Cueto and the Black Lotus. And pretty much what happens is Dario Cueto comes in and talks about how it's going to be a big night since it's the beginning of Ultima Lucha, and um, he also offers her a drink, and she flips him off, and he says that he thought that she would have changed considering the fact that she was sitting next to the cell of a brother and she was in so much confinement. And then Dario Cueto reveals that um, I forget his name now. That his brother didn't kill um, Montaigne. I forget his name now. I don't know why I'm just blanking on his name, but that his brother didn't kill the Black Lotus's parents. It was actually El Dragon Azteca. He said that he's been lying to her all along. He's just been a backstabbing snake, and obviously this pisses off the Black Lotus and Dario Cueto. It's Mantasna Cueto. My bad. I don't know why I blanked on his name. But Dario Cueto says, "I know the truth hurts, but the truth can lead you to your freedom." And he holds the key, implying that he's gonna free her, um, if she believes him. And then she starts punching the wall like she's trying to um, break out or train to kill the person who killed her parents. And we even kind of got like a little bit of background for Dario Cueto. He talked about how when his dad was ruling underground promotions all over the world, Mantasna Cueto um, was nothing but a mere human, and he would murder people, but he definitely didn't murder the Black Lotus's parents. So I actually kind of like this. It was a nice follow up. I expect something big's gonna happen with this storyline in the season finale. So I kind of can't wait to see what happens with it. So I like this. And then we had the first match on the show. It was a Falls Count Anywhere match. The Mac versus Cage, and this was a great match. This was probably the best match of the whole show, which really is saying a lot because there were a lot of really good matches on this show. But um, the Cage attacks the Mac from behind when he's on top of the temple, and they end up brawling all up over the arena. Um, the Mac suplexes, they fight all around the stairs of the temple, and they go into they fight on top of the place where right on top of the temple, and um, um, Cage ends up hitting a running power slam on the Mac right on top of it, and he covers him, and the Mac kicks out, and then the Mac starts to fight back. They start fighting into the crowd, and the Mac hits a DDT on the right under the I guess I don't barricade, not the barricade, but the seat-ins, the bleachers. That's what I meant to call them. And Cage kicks out of that, and then Cage hits the Mac with a chair, and he beats the crap out of him with the chair for a while, and the fight really starts to spill over. Um, the Mac hits a belly to back throw right driving Cage right through the door. Um, and it's pretty much in the room where Phoenix was put through when Mil Muertes powerbombed him through it. And then he tries to cover him, but Cage kicks out. And then the Mac brings out the Mac hits Cage with a 2x4 that breaks right across his back. They bounce each other off the announcer's table. Cage hits the Mac off the head with a cooler, and then the Mac grabs a couple of beer cans, and he douses them in his mouth and hits the stunner on him. I don't even need to say who that's referencing because if you've watched wrestling before, you would know. And he covers him, and Cage kicks out of that. And then Cage hits a throws Mac right into the office of Dario Cueto, and the Mac had set up a table on the outside, and Cage tries to superplex the Mac off of it, but the Mac counters and hits a sunset flip powerbomb off the top turnbuckle, and he covers him, and Cage still kicks out, and then they continue to fight up across on the they continue to fight up across the temple. They go into the right over Dario Cueto's office, and the Mac is about to like throw him off of it, but Cage fights out of it, and Cage hits a discus clothesline, driving the Mac. Actually, the Mac hits a one-handed spine buster right onto the office first after Cage had hit him off the head with a trash can lid. And Cage, too, I forgot to mention, had hit the Mac with a stop sign, and he also sprayed a fire extinguisher right off of him. And then Cage had a discus clothesline, sending the Mac right over the guardrail, and then he hit a superplex right onto the building, and he covered him. The Mac kicked out, and then the finish comes when Cage pretty much hits a curb stomp right through a cinder block, and he covers him, and that was pretty much the end of the match. The Mac loses, and Cage wins. This match was great. 4 stars easily, and it was a great match. I thought it was very physical, very violent, and I like the fact that they actually used the falls count anywhere stiff. That they didn't even enter the ring once, so I liked it. So definitely check it out if you've never seen this match before. Now, before I continue talking about the matches on the show, I do want to mention that they did do some decorative stuff for Ultima Lucha. They had um, like a um, like a logo ShamWow thing made for each match that was going to be on the show, and they also had like Ultima Lucha written on the screen. I do kind of wish they would have done a little bit more, but maybe that's coming in the next episode. So, yeah, I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that type of stuff. And then we had the next match. It was a Lucha Underground Trios Championship match. Lucha Underground Trios champions. Angelico, Evilise, and Son of Havoc versus the Disciples of Death with Katrina ringside. And the Disciples of Death consist of Barrio Negro, El Sinestro, De La Montoya, and Trace. I think that's how you say those names. And this was pretty much Tornado Tag Team rules. So it was so everybody could be in the win at once, which I kind of liked it. And the Disciples of Death dominate the first part of this matchup, and they kind of dominated the whole match, really. Son of Havoc and Helico and Evilise had glimpses of glory in this match. Like Son of Havoc hit his springboard back elbow. He ended up hitting his suicide dive on the outside, taking out everybody. And I did like the spot where one of the Disciples of Death, I can't really tell which one was which, hit like a really cool suplex right onto Angelico, right onto the barriers or whatever it's called. And they all kept targeting Evilise, but Evilise would hit them with a clutch, and then Angelico hit a dive right off the building and took out everybody, which was really damn cool. I love it when he does that, and I like that he bled from the mouth, which I think was legit though. So I don't think that was he was supposed to have like internal bleeding from it. And then it comes down to and then Katrina rises up the stone. She goes into the ring and rises up the stone. And Eva Lise wasn't having any of this, so she attacked Katrina. And since the stone wasn't raised, it took away the powers of the disciples of death. So she beats the crap out of them. And um, then Katrina is able to get the upper hand on her. She grabs the stone and hits Eva Lise off the head with it. And the disciples of death come into the ring. And one of them pins Eva Lise for the win. And the disciples of death win the Lucha Underground Trios Championships. I forgot one spot in this match that I want to mention. There was a spot where one of them had Eva Lise in a where they where he bent her leg right over the back of her head, and it was like almost like a half Boston crab. And the disciples of death were all watching, wait for her to tap out. And Son of Havoc came in and broke it up. I thought that was a nice spot in the match, and I really liked this match. I thought it was really good, and I really the disciples of death winning the Lucha Underground Trios Championships. I thought made sense. I think they should be an unstoppable force, and I like the way this match was booked. So I'm gonna give it 3.5 stars. Um, and yeah, the only thing I think that really didn't make any sense in this match is when they did that half crab spot. Why didn't they do it across the bad leg? But other than that, really no complaints about this match. Um, and I really liked it. And then we had the main event. It was a believe I don't even remember the name of the match. Let me. I think it's Believers Boulevard, but I want to make sure that I have that right. I think this might be the wrong Lucha Underground episode. I just want to make sure so that way I don't have it wrong. Yeah, that's not the right episode. Want to make sure it's a Believers Boulevard lumberjack. It's pretty much a lumberjack strap match. Drago versus Hernandez, and they actually did bring fans in from the like legitimate fans in. I thought they were gonna be like paid fans, but they actually were legit fans. I kind of was surprised about this. We even had that one fan that Hernandez stole like his belt from in the original match with Drago, which I liked. So I thought that was a nice touch. And yeah, we had Drago versus Hernandez, and this match I thought this was actually also a pretty good match. And Hernandez gets the upper hand on Drago. He hangs him up balls first on the top rope, and he knocks him right out of the ring. He shoulder pounces him right out of the ring. And the believers don't want to attack Drago because they like Drago, so I kind of like that. And then Drago gets the upper hand. He um, throws and he throws Hernandez out of the ring, and the fans whip Hernandez, and they whip the crap out of him with their straps, and he ends up getting all red in the face, and I thought it was great. Um, and then Hernandez gets the upper hand. He hits the shoulder pounce on Drago. He hits the power bomb into the backbreaker on Drago, and yeah, he really was getting the upper hand on Drago. Drago starts to make a comeback. He tried to hit like his roll up, where he ends up holding the guy against legs against together and stuff, but it didn't work because Hernandez was too big, which I kind of thought was a nice touch. And he hits a tornado, head scissors DDT on Hernandez. Then he hit the dive on the outside on Hernandez, and then Hernandez hit the dive himself. Hernandez too, when he was going to get whipped at one point, ended up stealing one of the fans' straps, and it was the fan that he originally stole a strap from. So I thought that was a nice touch. And he ended up power bombing Drago outside the ring, and he landed on a couple of fans. And then he ended up hitting a dive on the outside. But then all the fans come in and start whipping Hernandez again, and Drago dominates Hernandez. He hits a flip dive on the outside on him. He grabs a table, and he ends up hitting Hernandez with nunchucks, which I thought was really cool. And then he hits a 450 splash right through the table, and then he puts him in the win and hits a springboard splash on Hernandez for the win. And you could say this made Hernandez look really bad, and it probably did, but it wasn't like he was going to be sticking around anyways. Um, so it really did. It really made no difference. And it's not. And also, this was probably to send Hernandez a message not to go to TNA Impact Wrestling when you signed with another company. So they probably wanted to humble him and send him a little bit of a message. So I don't really blame Lucha Underground for this. But and it was a nice way to get for Drago to get revenge. So I like this match. I'll give it a 3.25 star. It was pretty good. Um, and then we had the end of the show. Our Dragon as Tekka comes in, and there's a security guard. I don't know his name because it didn't say. And he wants to go in the arena and save the Black Lotus because she's being abducted. But we found out that if our Dragon as Tekka enters the temple, he'll die. And he says he doesn't care because his legacy will live on, whether he lives or dies. And then he goes into the temple, and we're supposed to find out what's going to come of that in the next episode. But this was, I overall thought, was a great episode of Lucha Underground. I thought this was a great way to kick off Ultima Lucha. I really liked the Falls Count. I thought every match delivered. I liked the Black Loudest storyline, and I liked it. I thought it was great. So if I had to rate it, I'll give it a B plus. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Now I've read some stuff into it, like some reception about how people felt about this show, and some people, a lot of people thought this was a really strong start to Lucha Underground. They liked it, and they, have a right to think that. Um, I, I definitely thought it was a great episode. I thought this episode, really did a good job of setting the tone of what you're gonna get from part two. So now I'm gonna watch part two. I don't really know, if I'm gonna upload the episode today, or it's probably gonna end up being like midnight when I upload the episode. So I'll probably see you guys in the morning. But yeah, that's pretty much my review of Lucha Underground. So yeah, I thought it was a great episode. I'm gonna give it. I didn't rate the episode. I'm gonna give it an 8.5, which is a B plus. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please make sure you guys like, comment, and share this video so people will watch it. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel for more content and click on the bell so that way every time I upload a video, you guys will get the notifications for it. Make sure you guys do the same thing for my CM Brothers and on the Talkinator YouTube channels. And that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.